Okay, our first program, Chapter 1, Project 9, involves a program that will allow the user to enter a time in seconds, then output how far an object would drop if it is in free fall for that length of time. So the first thing we need to do is we need to include IOStream. IOStream allows us to use the input and output capabilities of C++. We also want to use the standard namespace, so we declare that by typing in using namespace std or standard and then of course semicolon. Now we need to have a main method, so I'm going to declare my main method using a simple integer data type so that we can return either a 1 or a 0, and then of course get my curly braces here to contain all of the main parts of our program. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to declare the acceleration rate, which was given to us. So I'm going to type this in uppercase and refer to it as acceleration. This is going to be a constant that does not change. It is at 32. And let's just fix this here so we have our correct spacing. The second thing I want to do is declare my time and distance. Those are two variables that I'm going to use an integer data type for, and since both of them will use an integer data type, naturally I can declare them on one line, just like I've done here. Alright, so we've declared our variables. Now, the value that the user will type in will be the time. The distance will be the formula that was provided in the textbook. So if you're going to declare your variables, you want to know exactly what information needs to come in on input, what needs to be processed, and then of course what needs to be output. Alright, so now I'm going to prompt the user for a value. So I'm basically in quotes prompt the user, tell them what we want. So enter the time in seconds that the object falls. Now obviously you want to make this message something that will help the user understand what you're expecting of them. So then once they type in that time, the way I'm going to gather or get that time is simply see in the time. So I see out the message, I see in the time. Now I can collapse the space here, so let me go ahead and do that. So that's the first thing, I'm prompting the user. Now it's always a good idea to put comments, so why not put a comment that says what we're doing here. Prompt the user to input the time value in seconds, right? Again, it's always a good idea to tell the user what you expect. So we do that, we get the time. Now I'm going to compute the distance based on the formula that was provided. So distance, I'm going to set the value of distance equal to acceleration, and let's just copy and paste for time's sake here. Acceleration divided by 2 times time times time. Now there's many ways to do this, as I'm sure many of you discovered. As long as you get the basic gist of the formula, that's what is important. Alright, I'm now going to prompt or actually output a message on the next line. That message will basically tell the user the answer to the problem that they were looking for. The object will fall, and again these squigglies will go away shortly, will fall. And now you want to throw in or pass in the value of distance, and then literal string feet, because that's what we're looking for. And I'm going to wrap around to another line, but you don't have to. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, time, whoops, a little stutter step there. We want our delimiter here, time, and then of course seconds. Okay, and of course we want to have a new line, as it were, and that's what I'm doing here, is declaring a /n for a new line. And then I want a system pause, and the reason I want a system pause is so that the screen gives a chance to the user to respond and gives a chance to show the message that we want the user to see, which is actually the result. So now I'm going to return 0 and semicolon, and here we go. So let's try and run this. Alright, so enter the time in seconds that the object falls. So let's put in 50, and sure enough, the object will fall 4,000 feet in 50 seconds. Alright, now you'll notice there's no space in between 4,000 and feet and none between 50 and seconds. We can actually fix that. We could do this, and we can do this, and that's probably going to be the easiest way. Let's try that again. We're going to type in 50, and there we have it. So that's the program. Very simple. Hopefully this did not cause you too much strife and aggravation, but each one gets easier as we go along.